Well, lads, what we saw from Kilkenny at the weekend, it mightn't matter who wins on Sunday between Tipperary and Waterford, because Kilkenny looked nigh on unbeatable. But at the end of the day, someone's got to play them in the final.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think the betting on this one has it slightly lopsided. I agree Tipperary deserve to be favourites, but whether it deserves to be 1 to 3 chances against the Munster champions, I'm not so sure.
Well, that's it. I think when these two Munster heavyweights come up against you all the time, it's pretty much a coin flip as such. And if you're saying this game is a coin flip, then it would make sense to go to the side of the bigger odds. I think Waterford at 13 to 5 are a cracking price. I'd definitely be on their side. So
good value in that, yeah.
Yeah, because my theory on it is Tipperary are the only team there that might beat Kilkenny. I don't think Waterford will. But that's not the issue on Sunday. The issue is, can Tipperary beat Waterford? And I agree with you. I think it's a 50-50 call.
Yeah.
And 13 to 5 definitely is maybe the starting point of a bit of value this weekend.
Yeah, and you never know. I think Waterford could be so sick of Brian Cody Kilkenny. If they got to the final, I wouldn't be surprised to put up to there either.
They'd have to have a better performance than the last time they met in the final anyway. So look, they've changed. They've brought a lot of youth into the Waterford side. Like, so I do think they would be my choice over Tipperary in that one, but you can't see past Kilkenny for the next 5 years even. So.
And I think the man in the street would like to see David Fitz and Waterford keep going, and they're a more popular team than Tipperary have been over the last couple of years.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's, I suppose. Then what? Premiership. It's a big weekend. You have massive sport events, but Premiership, that's where, like, you know, in the shops and online, lads are just queuing up now, frothing at the mouth to get at these matches at the weekend. And like, in fairness to Sky, whatever you say about them, the kick off on Sunday with Liverpool and Arsenal, Monday Night Football's back, Man United, Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cracking weekend. And then you throw in Shea Gibbons now after dropping the bombshell. If he doesn't play for Man City on Saturday, he's up packing his bags and he's heading for the hills. What's your opinions on the matches, lads?
I'd say Liverpool Arsenal. Liverpool had a great performance the other night in the Europa League, so I'd be really fancying them. Arsenal haven't really done much in pre-season, even though they're playing the whatever cup they're in. They haven't done an awful lot. Saying that though, I'd say Liverpool are still fairly rusty. They're after getting a bit of solidness about them now, especially with Roy stepping in. Like, but I still think they're a very good price up against a team like Arsenal. Like, so I'd have to go with Liverpool on that one. I don't know what the views would be around the table. But
I'd be honest with you, Michael, I'd side against you there. I think with Fabregas having pledged his future, well, his immediate future for next year to Arsenal, so I think there's a consensus in Arsenal that this could be their year. I thought for a long time last year they looked like Premiership winners themselves. They kind of ran into a lot of injuries there in the middle towards late last year, and I don't know, I think Arsenal, even though Fabregas and probably Van Persie won't be starting, Wenger said they are a bit short in terms of match fitness. I think with them on the bench, I think Arsenal will definitely probably beat Liverpool 95 away for home this weekend and possibly reignite or start up a Premiership title challenge for themselves this year.
Well, my opinion is very clear. I oppose Liverpool all ends up till Christmas.
Yeah.
Liverpool have brought in Joe Cole. That's the only change.
Yeah.
The good thing they've done is they got rid of Benitez. So they will be better. But it's going to take time. Right, actually, there's a lot of work to do there. He knows that himself. Arsenal are tried and trusted. Arsenal always start well and invariably kind of run out of puff at the business end. Now, granted, there was big injury problems last year. You couldn't really play on this match until you see the team sheets at half 3 on Sunday. But I think if Arsenal can get either one or both of Van Persie and Fabregas on the pitch, I think 95 is a fair price.
It is, yeah.
You know, the Man City Spurs game, I think that's probably the most attractive game for me this weekend. Because you know, Spurs probably overachieved last season, and now the pressure's going to be on to replicate that. Again, you know what I mean? And Man City have just continued to spend like there's no tomorrow. There's certainly no recession in the blue half of Manchester anyway. So a lot's at stake in this game, and Mancini really, I think he's going to get 6 games. And if Man City aren't showing title-winning form almost in those first 6 games, I think he could be out the door.
Especially now with Martin O'Neill leaving Aston Villa yesterday, you'd think he'd be a ripe candidate for the job there. But no, I agree with you as well. Now, one thing about this game was that, don't forget, Spurs and Man City played a very big game towards the end of last season. Spurs had to go to Man City to the East and to beat them, and they did put in a good performance that day.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't think Spurs have lifted that much in terms of players. They haven't signed a whole lot either now, but I think I really respect Harry Redknapp and the job he's doing there. And
to be fair, they have a very decent squad and a very large squad. You know, I think they're underrated a lot of the time, and Harry Redknapp is one of the best managers in this.
Look at their strikers. Look, they've got Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe, Pavlyuchenko. Who else is they have? Crouch. That's a pretty good.
Santos is back as well.
That's a good thing. But like, the only thing was, 2 months ago we were all sure Robbie Keane was going. It was only a matter of where. Peter Crouch was going. It was only a matter of where. Now, just because I think the lack of money in the Premiership outside of Man City, no one's spending a whole pile. You know, it looks like that they're not going to strengthen the squad anymore, and you just wonder about the internal contentness of the side.
Yeah.
Who's going to be Tottenham or Man City?
I'd probably side with Spurs after winning East Lands last year. That impressed me that day.
Just about Spurs, but I not one I'd play too heavily in.
Yeah.
I'd keep me powder dry for the golf.
I think so.
You know, the PGA, like, it's the last major. I think at this stage there's no point in talking too much about Tiger, because
No.
from what we've seen of him last weekend, he's not going to contend.
Definitely not. No.
So any chance for an Irish winner?
What do you think?
I don't know. You'd have to fancy someone like McIlroy again to kind of. He's playing his best lately, like, but I don't know.
Well, the thing about this course, it's a tough course. As far as I know, there's 1,000 bunkers in it. It sounds like it's pretty much a beach with a bit of grass here and there amongst it. But I'm not too sure if that would suit a guy like McIlroy. He can be very prone to kind of what Mickelson's like in his career, going for the Hollywood shot and trying to hit things that he shouldn't hit, where he should be a bit more conservative. I actually think Darren Clark at 125 to 1. He actually, the last time this tournament was played there, it was about 5 years ago, he actually led after the first round. I think he shot like a 6 or 7 under. And the fact he's played well, of course, and put a good round in there, for me, kind of the thing I like about a golfer, a guy that kind of enjoys the golf and has got good memories of the course and playing well there. So Darren Clark 125 to 1.
I suppose at that price, it's nearly even worth an each way at 125 to 1. You know.
So well, that's it, yeah. Especially now we're playing 6 places of BetPack. I think
exactly,
that's good value there. So there's.
Yeah, and like the fact you say that you don't really fancy McIlroy, BetPack don't fancy McIlroy, they're top price in the industry, on 18 to 1, which is probably fair value. I agree with you with McIlroy. He shoots the Hollywood round and he can't back it up. I just think he keeps trying to shoot the lights out every day he goes out. Now, he's only a kid really, and with experience, I think majors are going to happen for him. It's only a matter of when. Harrington, I'm worried about Harrington, because Harrington's now pushing to try and get these Ryder Cup points. And his game's not in a good place, and I'm not sure, you know what I mean, he's got too many things going on in his game still. He's trying to relax, but I don't think it's working, and I don't see a big turn in Harrington at the moment. McDowell is still suffering a hangover from the US, the Open thing. So I wouldn't disagree with you. Clark has shown reasonable form lately, and if he could just get a good start, as we saw last week, if you get in the leaderboard early,
exactly.
We saw last week at the Bridgestone, like, it's hard enough to get knocked off that leaderboard, because a lot of guys don't seem to be in great form.
Yeah, well, either way, between the hurling on Sunday, the soccer starting at 4 o'clock, and then the USPJ final round on Sunday evening, that's great days TV betting for us. So there's.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I just hope that my wages hit the account on Friday so I can play in all the events.